So this one is on the chapter 2 homework. On the worksheet, it might have said classwork here by mistake, but it is the homework one, exponents and special right triangles. So on this first problem, everything's being raised to the power of 4, so I'm going to have a -2 raised to the power of 4. It's important that if you have a negative number, you do put it in parentheses if you're putting it in your calculator before you raise it to the power. X, and then -1 to the power of 4, we multiply, we get a -4. Y to the 5th raised to the 4, we multiply, we get a 20. So we're going to clean this up. Let me just move this up. So -2 to the 4th is 16. The x to the -4th, I don't like a negative exponent, so that's going to come down here, x to the 4th, y to the 20th, and that's your answer. On part B, on this one, we're going to want to get rid of, or move, I should say, our negative exponent. So the one I'm concerned with is this one right here. So on this one, let me just get everything where I want it to be first, okay? So my 2h to the 3rd, I'm fine with. My j to the -3, I'm going to move down. My k to the 4th is going to stay. I have my 3. Again, that j to the -3rd, I was going to move down. I have a j on the bottom, and I have a k. So now I'm going to clean this up. Now 2 over 3, again, this is a fraction. I cannot reduce it. That's going to stay. But I'm going to make sure I get all my h's together, all my k's together, all my j's together. So I'm going to have a 2 on top and a 3 on bottom. H to the 3rd, I have no other h's, so that's going to stay. K to the 4th over k, 1k on bottom, cancels with 1k on top, leaving me with 3 k's on top. On the bottom, I have a j to the 3rd times a j. This j, a j is really a j to the 1. So 3 plus 1 give me 4. And that's your answer. Now on C, again, we're going to clean this up. Let me move things first. So the ones I'm going to be moving, I'm going to move this and this. Having the 6 be negative, that's not going to be a problem. Okay, that's a negative number. And I'll deal with the numbers here in a second and cleaning that up. But again, a negative number doesn't mean you move it. Okay, so that's going to be a -6. Let me get the 8 down here on bottom. My a to the -2nd, that's going to move to the bottom. Got a to the 2nd. My b to the 3rd and my c are going to stay. My a to the 5th is going to stay on bottom. And then my b to the -3rd is going to go on top. And then my c squared is going to stay. So now let me clean up my fractions. So a -6 over 8, that reduces down to a -3 over 4, because I can take a 2 from both of them. My b's, I have a b to the 3rd and a b to the 3rd, which ends up being a b to the 6th. I have a c and a c squared on bottom. 1c here cancels with 1c here, leaving me with 1c on bottom. And my a to the 2nd and my a to the 5th, that's going to be an a to the 7th. And that's my answer. On letter D, so everything here is going to be raised to the -1. Now, I'm going to get 2 to the -1, x to the -4th. Hold on, let me get that back. Okay, so we had 2 to the -1st, x to the -4th, y to the 3rd, because negative times negative is a positive. And now what I'm going to do is this 2 to the -1st is going to go on the bottom, this x to the -4th is going to go to the bottom, and the y to the 3rd is going to stay on top. So I'm going to have y to the 3rd over 2 x to the 4th, and that's our answer. Now the last ones are the special right triangles. So on this one, we are trying to do a 45, 45, 90. I know my hypotenuse. So again, two ways to think about it. Normally I would take either my A or my B, both of these are going to be the same answer, and times them by root 2 to go this way. So to go backwards, I'm going to take 7 and I'm going to divide it by root 2. Take 7 and I'm going to divide it by root 2. Another way to think about that, and I'll write it right up here, is we know A root 2 is going to be 7. And when I try to get A by itself, I'm going to divide by root 2. So you see, really both of these ideas are the same. But I do need to rationalize, so let me do that. Let me rewrite this. I need to times both top and bottom by a root 2. So I get 7 root 2 over 2. And that is both my A. I'll get a different color. That is both my A and my B. Okay. Now the next one, letter F. Letter F, we are also dealing with a 45, 45, 90. This one's a little nicer because this time this hypotenuse has a root 2. So this was a 13. 13 times root 2 got that. So this answer is 13 and this is 13. But again, if you're having trouble, you know you're going to take your x times it by root 2 to get the 13 root 2. When I divide both sides by root 2, they're going to cancel out and you're going to get x equal 13. Now on G, this is a 30, 60, 90. So across from my 30, okay, is my smallest side. Whatever goes here, I times by root 3 to get this. So that means this was a 7 because this is a 7 root 3. Whatever is across from my 30, I double to get my hypotenuse. So that means that this is a 14. And the last one, we have another 30, 60, 90. And sorry, this is a U and a V. Let's just realize I changed it to X by and Y by mistake. Okay, so we're going to find these two variables. This is a 60, this is a 30. Across from our 60 is our 18. Now that 18, what I normally would have done is I normally would have taken whatever my Y is and I would have times it by root 3 to get 18. So my Y is going to be 18 over root 3. And I need to rationalize that. So I need to multiply both top and bottom by something that's going to rationalize that. So I'm going to times it by a root 3. And I end up getting 18 root 3 over 3. And 18 over 3 can be reduced. So this answer is going to be 6 root 3. And then whatever answer I get across from my 30, I'm going to double that to get my hypotenuse. So this is going to be a 12 root 3.